Hello there, Captains, and welcome back to Game Fact Files. In today's episode, I'll show you my latest Luffy-themed deck after the release of the new 3 starter, and unveil my comprehensive guide, shedding light on the strategic thinking behind each card choice. I've excluded any OP05 cards, allowing you to test this setup in your own events until the 8th of December, that we are going to have more choices after the release of the next set. While most lists use blockers and play defensive due to the 3 life of the leader, in this list, we are going for raw power. I'm starting the deck with 4 starter Nami. I need her so I'll be able to attack for 7,000 each turn if possible. I am also adding 4 copies of ST10 Aggro Zoro to bring another 7,000 attack on the board. I will then add 4 copies of the Rush Zoro. The point of being aggressive is to gain tempo early on and having your opponent busy dealing with your threats while you're reaching late game turns. For turn 3, I will add one of the most crucial cards of the deck. Bard is a key card, especially if you play first. On your 5 Dawn, you can cast him and activate his ramp ability, getting you at 6 Dawn. So on your next turn you already have 8 Dawn, and using Luffy's ability, you go to 9 Dawn, being able to play a Newgate. Unfortunately, since we can only use 1 copy of Newgate, our best choice is to play Shanks to be Dawn efficient. I will add 1 copy of Newgate and 4 copies of Shanks in the deck. The next card I'm using is 4 copies of the new ST10 Kid. Kid is great buffing your leader, and if you play more than 1 in a row, you can get your leader up to 10,000 power, denying almost every attack. The last cards of the main core I am using is 2 copies of the new 10 Dawn Rush Luffy. This one isn't the perfect choice, since he is definitely going to be replaced with the Luffy from OP05, but he'll work as a finisher dealing with any possible annoying blockers. Comparing those two, while getting minus 10 Dawn seems like a negative ability, you are getting an extra leader attack on the turn you gain, and also 1 extra card that is crucial, since having only 3 life, your card advantage is low. Speaking for card advantage, the only card I'm going to use that also works as a blocker is Queen. He will also help discarding any non-counter cards that will probably be stuck on our hand. I am using 2 copies of Sanji Rush that also have 1000 counter, in case I am not using him offensively. I will also add 4 copies of Promo Luffy for his 2000 counter. When the bans will lift and we'll have our Searcher Nami back, this Luffy is the best 2000 counter since he is a Straw Hat and searchable. When your mulligan is bad, you can also play him on turn 2 and still be able to attack for 7,000 using 2 Dawn. He is also one of the easiest targets to be attacked, and will probably save 1 life from you since your opponent will never leave him on the board. I am adding 4 copies of X-Drake for his 2000 counter, and maybe sometimes for his discard ability at the late game. His -1 Dawn ability will almost never be used if I have a power play next turn. I will also add 2 copies of Starter Rush Unblockable Luffy. If you have noticed, most of the cards have no counter at all, and since I'll need to get rid some of them, I'm going to add 4 copies of Jet Gatling and 2 copies of Kick Course. I will also add 1 copy of Radical Beam. Before we jump into Sim, I will change 2 copies of Shanks to 2 copies of Douglas Bullet. The reason of using Bullet is that he is insanely powerful versus Doffy and Katakuri, but he is a sure dead character versus Sakazuki. However, this list is made to be played before OP05, so I'm going to use him for the next 20 days or so. Let's jump into Sim and test the list. Our Zoro is so dead against him. Okay, here is a tip since he played brand new. His best play on his second turn is 4 Don Lucci, that he needs to have 3 cards in his trash pile to use his ability. One thing that you might consider is that on his second turn, he is going to have 2 cards in trash from Leader's ability, and he is missing the 3rd card. If he wouldn't play brand new, you can skip your leader attack at your 3 Dawn, so you keep his trash pile empty and negate him from playing his Lucci on curve. But now that he already had him, we will attack as intended. I will play Zoro and pass turn. Okay, our Zoro is dead. We need to ramp fast up to late game drops. We will play Jean Bard on our turn. I'll play Shanks and kill his Lucci. I will attack with my leader first to make him spend a card. The fact that he is pushing for damage means he isn't able to deal with Shanks. Time for our 10 Don Luffy here. He can't deal with both of them at the same turn, so we are good. He only has 2 cards on him, so I'll play X-Drake for a discard on this turn. Let's see what we'll draw with Queen and decide later our attacks. I'm not going to block this one, so he might think he has lethal with Borsellino. That's all for today, Captains. I had a very busy week and didn't have time to record more games. I'll hopefully make bigger gameplay videos on the next month. Feel free to share your thoughts or suggest any decks you'd like to see in action. See you in the next episode.